Okay, today I want to talk about a trade we put on in MU, Micron Technology. This was a stop loss trade, meaning that we put it on and very quickly afterward we had to take it off because it hit our stop loss. And honestly, that's a great thing. It really, really, really is. This is the How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast brought to you by 10MinuteStockTrader.com, where we give you the tools, tips, and tricks to help you trade faster and trade smarter. And here's your host, voted one of the top 100 people in finance by Redwood Media Group, founder and head trader of 10MinuteStockTrader.com, Christopher Uhl. Mark Minervini taught me that whenever you have stocks, you want them to be on as short as possible if they're a loser, and as long as possible if they're a winner. Now, was that the case with MU? Exactly. Now, MU was a trade that I put on today based on a FinClub pick. FinClub's artificial intelligence, right? And the deal with FinClub is that they give you up to 5 days to hit their target price. But for me, I carry very tight stops, and if it doesn't hit my FinClub target for the day, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to take it off, especially if it's falling down based on our model predictions to go along with FinClub. So, just want to talk about that real quick. It was a pilot buy that we did, and pilot buy meaning that was really very, very small. You can think of it this way, right? If you had a full size of 100 contracts, maybe your pilot buy is 10. Or maybe if you're trading stocks, maybe your full lot size is 1,000 shares. Or your pilot buy would be something like 50 shares. Just get your feet wet, make sure that it is moving in the direction that you want, and you're not putting up any additional capital to it. And whenever you do that, you are basically putting a stake in the ground, saying that this is the trade that you have conviction in, and if it does start to move in your favor, you're already winning. If it doesn't start to move in your favor, you've only got a tiny bit in the trade, and you can get out very, very, very quickly. So that's what we had here. We had a pilot buy, we had a very small trade, and absolutely would have been adding to it had it been a winner and continued to go in the direction we wanted, but it wasn't, and that's okay. So our stop loss was hit actually within 1 hour of entry. I was at the gym, and when I got done working out, I looked at my phone and I was like, oh, I got filled? What happened? And then I looked at the charts and saw that it went down, and it went down, it hit our stop, and that was it. And having these kind of trades is exactly what you want, because we risked next to nothing on this trade, because it was a small trade first off, and we kept tight stops. Now, had this gone in our favor, it would have been a small trade that we would have added to and averaged up. Paul Tudor Jones has a quote that says, losers average losers, right? If you want to win, you add to winners. So that's what we do. And that didn't work out today, and that's totally fine. So let's look at the chart real quick. So we're going to start on the daily and work down to the 15-minute. All right, so here is the daily chart. And I'm going to move a couple things around here. So we entered at 58.12. Our stop loss was set at 57.63. Entry on the 15-minute MACD cross, which we'll talk about a little bit in a minute, or exit on the break of the expected move. So here, take a look real quick. We've got our 5 and 20, which is the gray and black lines. They're crossed over, so it's nice and bullish. Our RSI is not overbought, but it is nice and strong. And then finally, we've got a MACD crossover on the daily chart, which is a great thing. So this looks great. Now, our red line, that was our stop loss line. We'll get more into that in a minute. And our green line was our FinClub target. So taking it a step further down to the hourly chart, which is how I like to trade, you can see that our model was showing that it should be moving in this blue cloud here. All right. And we entered, where did we enter? Oh, let's just take a look real quick. So early in the day, MU was actually overbought. And so I was like, I'm not looking at this trade. But later in the day, when we entered it, it had come back down within the RSI limits. So that's why I was looking at it later versus earlier when the signal first came through. So anyway, we entered at this first vertical line here. And then we exited at this next vertical line just on the hour after that. And with this one, because what I like to do is I like to make sure that it's working in my favor on the daily chart and then on the hourly chart. And then if all goes well, I'm going to use the 15-minute to actually like snipe my entry, right? That's where I'm going to put my entry point at. And I've had really good success with using the 15-minute as my entry point. So going down to the 15-minute. All right, here we are. So we entered at 58.12, exited 57.63. And so we entered here at this green raindrop here on our MACD cross, which it flattened out and then went right back under. So unfortunately, that didn't work in our favor. But it was trending in the direction that we needed. So our model said, hey, this is the direction it should be going. This is the time frame it should be moving in. And that's also key. Mark Minervini taught me that it must move in the time and in the direction that you expect it to move. And based on our model, that's what we had here. It did not move in the time nor the direction that we needed. So we cut our loss. So we entered on this line. We exited on this line. And you can see that pretty much from the time we put it on, it went like against us. And I'm not one of those people who will hold things that go against me. No, I'm the opposite. I'm going to say, you know what? I was wrong. And I'm out. Had it stayed above our red line, which was our stop loss, had it stayed above our red line, we'd still be in the trade right now. But instead, it went down instead of going up. And you can see our Fin Club target is up here. So this model prediction looked like a really good setup right into the Fin Club target by the end of the day. But you know what? It didn't work out and we had our tight stop. And so we exited. So that's the key that you need to remember on this, this trade here is that you need to have tight stops, especially whenever you're trading with options, right? Options can literally go to zero and you don't want that. So we had a small loss on the trade because we set a tight stop. We set a tight stop because this was the direction that our model had pointed it to go. It went the other way, totally fine. Just set your stops and move on. Now, I set this with a stop limit order, and I'll be honest with you, I am so grateful that I have found stop limit orders because I've talked about this on a podcast before that my weakness had been selling, right? Selling at a loss or selling at a profit, just like something would trigger on the screen, but I couldn't actually pull the trigger to do it in my portfolio, right? I was always second guessing, like, oh, maybe there's a few more cents left in this, or maybe it's going to turn around soon or whatever. But like I said, I was at the gym and this closed. I had a stop limit order in. And what a stop limit order in is that you tell it at what point will you start a trade. Will you start, they call it a trigger. At what point will you start the trigger? And I had put $2.30. So if the price of the option came down from $2.60 to $2.30, then start working that option. And then my actual limit order was at $2.28, and that's what I got filled at. So it doesn't turn on the $2.28 limit order until the price got down to $2.30. And that's why when I was at the gym, it took care of that for me. I didn't have to do anything. So that's another thing that I am so grateful for, finally finding that. Geez, I've been waiting years for that in Tastyworks, but we're good on that now. So there you go. That is exactly everything you need to know about this Micron trade and why it went against us. However, you know what? It was a super short loser. Within an hour of opening it, we had closed it, and I don't like to day trade. This is not my style of trading. But you know, it is my style of trading, limiting my losses to just a few dollars. So there you go. That's everything you're going to need to know. Thank you so much for checking out the Micron real trade example here. And thank you guys for tuning in to today's How to Trade Stocks and Options podcast. Make sure you like, subscribe, and enable notifications. That way you never miss any of the tools, tips, and tricks that we upload every single week to help you trade faster and trade smarter. And I'll see you on the next episode. Hey, did you realize that you could get the secret weapon that every investor needs right now to start changing your financial future for free? Yeah, that's right. Just head on over to TripleStockProfits.com and download your free Triple Stock Profit System ebook today. 10MinuteStockTrader.com content is for information and educational purposes only. It is not, nor is it intended to be, trading or investment advice or recommendation that any security, futures contract, options contract, transaction, or other financial instrument or strategy is suitable for any person. Trading securities can involve high risk and the potential for total loss of any funds invested. 10MinuteStockTrader.com and Christopher Uhl, through its content, financial programming, or otherwise, does not provide investment or financial advice or make investment recommendations. Investment information provided may not be suitable for all investors and is provided without respect to the individual investors and audience's financial sophistication, financial situation, investing time horizon, or risk tolerance. 10MinuteStockTrader.com and Christopher Uhl are not in the business of trading securities trades, nor does it direct client commodity accounts or give commodity trading advice, tailored to any particular client situation or investment objectives. 10MinuteStockTrader.com and Christopher Uhl are not licensed financial advisors, registered investment advisors, or registered broker-dealers. Stocks, options, futures options, and other financial instruments not included here involve risk and are not suitable for all investors. You alone are responsible for making your investment and financial trading decisions, and for evaluating the merits and risks associated with the use of any financial security and broker platform. For more information, please visit 10MinuteStockTrader.com/legal. Thanks for stopping by.